Well, we're going to see, starting this off, the quad tank coming out for Element Mystic, or the Goats. I think it's going to function more as a quad tank in this case. Himgosu will be on the Brigitte, so we won't get to see any of his hit scan or his dive, not on this particular map. Whereas MVP Space doesn't know the comp yet, they're hiding this, and they can use Himgosu to just check around the corners. As you can see, third person, seeing the Tracer. Oh. Still unseen to MVP Space, but they will get to control the point first. They're going to have to fight now.
All right, armor pack just to help lead in the charge. Dive up on the high ground here from Oberon. Overwatch is going to be throwing out those fire strikes, trying to build up for that shatter. Attune over onto the far right, getting a couple hits in, but Undyne will be the first one to fall. Great pick off here for the side of Element Mystic. Attune nearly landing in the road, will be able to stay alive and try to rejoin, but the tanks here for MVP Space in a really awkward position because Fuse, even if he was in there, just wouldn't have enough healing to try to top them up, so Oberon will go down.
Yeah, Element Mystic, you know, they come in, they hide themselves, they run the speed boost in and get the first cap. Very difficult to approach, but MVP Space kind of already has the counter. The Pharah is what you want against this unless you're just simply going to match the composition yourself. If you do that now, though, you have an ult deficit, so keeping the Pharah, I think, is correct. And now we're just going to see this. They've stepped away, they're going to charge back in with another speed boost.
Fire strike going to be eaten, but Fuse gets caught in the back with a hammer. Coco finds the kill. Barrage and Pulse set from MVP Space, but likely just going to have to wait for that Coalescence to expire. As I say that though, both going to be used. Himgosu goes down, Repel gets caught up in that barrage as well as Dako and Smack. Jaxay manages to take down Attune for the res. Is out from Undyne, pulling him back into the fight, but some energy here from Guard. Attune very low in the sky, but he comes back in with a vengeance, gets rid of both the tanks here. On the side of Element Mystic, Dako trying to get back into the back. His pistol his way back up to that one, but he will not get the opportunity. Just jumps off the side to reset with the rest of the team. 58% before that flip comes through.
MVP Space is playing really well on this high ground where Oberon is standing here around this gazebo, the little globe there. That's where they're fighting Element Mystic really well because Element Mystic doesn't have that much range damage. In fact, they have very little at all outside of Dako and fire strikes and like Lucio left clicks. So they're actually just trying to play around this combo as best they can. But now the ult combos are nearly set here with the grab, the Earth Shatter, almost ready for poke post. So that's a strong moment here for Element Mystic to retake this point. With MVP Space doesn't have a barrage, don't have support ultimates.
Ranger's out, Dako tosses the self-destruct. Not gonna find anything, but Coco actually managed to get a charge kill in onto Attune. Himgosu gonna be eliminated right before that sound barrier comes through from Jaxay. No Brigitte in this fight, no res available for EM. Looking in on the backside. Oberon trying to stay up onto the high ground to keep himself alive. Get spammed back up by Undyne. He'll be able to do so. Repel goes down. Mystic still trying to get the flip, still holding on to the Graviton Surge. We'll see if they're going to toss it. They do. Pin it straight into the wall. Right click is trying to come down. They'll go ahead and wipe up the rest of the members of MVP Space as Bianca gets knocked out of that mech.
Dako picks up the pieces. Yeah, I mean, this is a very expensive flip, and it's actually not even come through just yet, so this actually doesn't feel that great for Element Mystic yet. They have the rally armor still persisting through. MVP Space is going to make a comp swap here for Yaki on the Reaper, which is one of his heroes that he plays actually exclusively on Oasis.
This is one of the first times that we've seen the Reaper in a long time.
Yeah, and it can work really well, but getting into position is the hardest part. But because they're running Lucio and they have a sound barrier available, I think this is pretty reasonable here to get a fast retake.
Needs to be careful. Everyone's focus firing down on a him. Attune comes in, drops that barrage, and again finds Repel. Sound barrier out from Fuse, keeping everybody else alive, and Oberon gonna get caught up in that self-destruct. Taken out by Jaxay. See that pin gonna miss, but still seems like Element Mystic gonna be holding this one. Solo Shatter comes down. There's a lockout Bianca. Gonna finish him off, Dako into the air. Looking for Attune. Coalescence comes in as well. They layer it all on top, and they just burn that Pharah right out of the sky. Rejoining from Oberon. Taken down. They need to tag the point. They need to do it. It's gonna be Fuse running his way through. Tried to delay. Yaki focus fired yet again. The Reaper not really going to be gaining a whole lot of anything. 42% is about as close as he's going to get for that Death Blossom as overtime continues to tick down. Fuse delays it a little bit longer, but seems like Element Mystic will be able to take City Center 166%.
MVP Space showed some signs of life, though. I mean, really good play by Yaki on the Tracer. Was able to kill Himgosu several times with pulse bombs on top of the Spire. What I called a gazebo earlier. I don't know what the best way to describe that thing is, but
it's fine. Whatever it is.
They played up on the high ground there really well around the composition of Element Mystic, but Element Mystic's ult efficiency was incredible. Really nice usage of staggered ultimates to make sure they control things. Dako, definitely the MVP at that point for me. Got several kills. His self-destructs bought so much time, shut down a lot of what Attune was trying to do on the Pharah. But if you look closely on your screen, you will see that it is Guard Sombra. Don't know if that's going to be real. I hope it is. Guard Sombra and Himgosu on the Genji. So it feels like the transformation is complete. We're back to where we were, back to where we started in compositions. Unless this is just a translocator, this is Element Mystic playing in their finest comp.
He's going for it. Hack
here we
down
go.
Onto the pack. So we'll be seeing the return of the Sombra here for Guard. Looking for that hack, perhaps in on a fuse. Doesn't find it yet. Repel's just gonna die. Oberon goes low. Hack comes through. Repel gonna be res back in. Gosu doesn't last very long, however. Soon able to take him down, and then Guard falls shortly thereafter. So MVP space looking like they should be able to get the lockdown on its initial point, but they're not playing there yet. They're still playing out front of the spawn, but with both supports falling, they can just go ahead, kite over, and take this for themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a stagger kill setup here for Element Mystic, who tried to buy further time for to limit how much charge MVP Space is able to build on this control meter. Himgosu only builds 30, same with Guard, and remember Guard's more famous for his EMP placement than his EMP charge building. That was BQB who took the cake on that one last season. But they have a Genji player now who's a Genji specialist. They have this dive setup. Guard's just going to look for building an EMP to get this flip. It's going to take some time, though.
Focus firing him, though. Gosu, the newest member. Guard going to go down again. 20% more about for that EMP to roll through. Gosu does manage to stay alive. Trailing behind a bit further as far as the Dragon Blade is concerned.
Repel with the double.
Comes up big. Knocks Bianca out of the mech and kills Oberon before he can get the Primal Rage. So going to be trying to get this flip here. Self-destruct down from Dako. Doesn't find a pick, but Fuse will go down. They might be able to turn this one over into their favor. And they have. So 3% over. 42% was gained by MVP Space, but they have a lot of ultimates. Nearly the big 6 to try to flip this right back into their hands.
But Element Mystic has the way to shut those down. The EMP is ready, so is the Dragon Blade. And an opening EMP can lead into a big Dragon Blade. So we haven't talked about this in a while, but Fuse is one of the greatest Lucios at shutting this down. He and Jexay really held the cake in terms of sound barrier after EMP to protect the team, then get the ultimates off after the hack expires. Guard's going to look for a translocator into the sky. This is not reworked Sombra, by the way. It's old Sombra.
Repel dead. Hack onto Oberon, so still can swing around with the Primal Rage, but not going to be leaping every couple of seconds. Himgosu draws out his first Dragon Blade. Welcome to Contenders, my friend. You have been eliminated. Attune comes up with a double kill. Getting rid of Jexay as well. Has the barrage set. Doesn't need it. They already popped Dako out of that mech. Getting ready to come back for MVP Space. Element Mystic, they match percentage. They exceed slightly, but MVP Space will be back in the lead.
It's really unfortunate that Dragon Blade was used, but the big key here is that MVP Space still holds an ult advantage. That was the most efficient flip you could ever really see. It was just mechanical skill. Attune hitting those shots, blowing Himgosu up. Hack coming through here into Yaki. EMP still held, so this is their opportunity. Translocator up, and here it is.
Anything drops that. It's going to be Undyne hitting the ground on the other side. Sound barrier does come through for Fuse, so not getting caught by that EMP yet again. This guy showing off his prowess with this Lucio. Primal Rage comes in from Pokemon, just trying to knock Bianca out of this point. Oberon will die as well. So now no tanks, the Mercy in an awkward position, flying to the side. Looks like they'll give up the chase for now as they try to get this flip through. Jax and Repel go down. No supports here for Element Mystic. Guard getting focused. Dangerously low, halfway to another EMP, will stay alive. Attune gets Pokemon, and MVP Space still maintain control.
Okay, they're gonna get the self-destruct for the remake. Well, Dako gets taken out here, so this looks like a win for MVP Space. No flip on the side of Element Mystic. Everyone's reset. Guard doesn't have an EMP yet. They have no support ultimates. It's looking like MVP Space bringing us to a third map here.
But Jexay swoops down from above. Fuse and Yaki both fall. For the hack now is Guard, nearly has that EMP ready to roll. Res comes in from Undyne, puts the Tracer back into the fight. Over time, we'll start plummeting here very rapidly. EMP just gonna get tossed in, denying away that bubble. Locking up multiple members on the side of MVP Space. Oberon and Attune and Undyne all gonna be falling, so now no res in the fight. Undyne was unable to use that Valkyrie. Stomp comes in from Pokpo, gets rid of Bianca, follows up onto Fuse, pulse bomb out from Yaki, not gonna be finding the stick, and even if he had, the Primal Rage is there for Pokpo. Still looking for the flip. Yaki dashes back in, denies that flip from coming through. But he can't hold on for too long. Bianca goes off the side, MVP Space. They do have time.
Some big bloodthirsty supports coming in here. It was actually Fuse who killed Guard there as he was trying to recover. It was the double kill we saw from Jexay that led to the opening EMP there for Guard in the first place. So a big action here. It feels like we're going back to Season 1 with this meta, but Attune is, I think, really dealing with the Sombra very well. Just going to see the hack here to drop him to the ground.
Cheeky little one. Also going to be denying away that barrage at least for a little bit, but Bianca sticks to him like glue. pounds him down. Transcendence not out fast enough, but they'll pop it, use it to protect Jexay so he can get the res off. So guard is back into the fight. Dako goes forward, finds the kill onto Attune. Undyne. Can he move over? Can he try to bring that Pharah back in? Because they really could use this barrage now. So the Struck's out from Dako, not going to find anything.
Poco needs healing. There it is.
Back into the mech. Oberon falling low, nearly has a primal range with the chase forward. Will take him down, but Poco pays for that one with his slide as the pulse bomb. Will claim him.
EMP is so close. He's
Dako
got it.
Drops down. He's got a back angle in on the Dako, trying to take him out of the mech. Chases in, gets rid of Jexay. 99 to 99 here to maybe decide the map. It's Element Mystic, which is taking the 2-0 with MVP space. They've got a 6-man coming in. Bianca, he might not be in that mech, but he's going to be pistoling his way back through. That's going to be the flip coming through. Overtime taken away. Poco trying to get in. Will be able to tag it. Element Mystic, can they string this through? Guard
he needs
comes
to get
back.
a primal. He needs that primal, but there's no heal. I think that's it.
Overtime taken away yet again. Repel trying to get close, but they just keep booping him back, pushing him away. And this will be a third and final round of Oasis as we get ready to move over to University.
Pretty silent crowd here as I think everyone's kind of in disbelief. Is old Element Mystic really back? I mean, Him goes to again, and it almost feels like he was born to take this slot. He was born to be the Genji player that gives the rebirth of Element Mystic Sombra style. And before the rework hits in the finals, you know, we're in a position to where you know, this is still very viable in a lot of ways, but in other ways, Attune has shut it down. He's just been tracking Guard. Guard has really been the only one who's dealt with him on the far, actually hacking him, knocking him out of the sky when they don't have long-range hit scan. They're going to go back to the comp they used earlier, and this is the best map for it. This is University. So it's going to be the Goats comp here, but they're lacking hit scan. Attune and Yaki just playing the more meta comp for the map. Element Mystic don't have a lot of range damage, so they're going to be very reliant on Jexay getting them into range to make this comp work. Poco almost falling into the center there. That would have been disastrous.
That would have been a bad look. Not going to happen. Attune can't get that flashbang up over the barrier. Not in the lockdown, but Yaki's coming around from the side, trying to get some rockets weaved in behind the Reinhardt. Takes Dako really low. He's actually just going to knock him out of the mech. Finds a direct hit, breaks that one. Bianca going to fall at the same time, however. Now rockets in, looking for him. Gosu barriers up, but drops for a moment. Gets that rocket through, and Yaki has a barrage already.
He's taken out, though.
Jexay
kills him again.
Yeah, the shield comes up. Jexay just zipping around. We'll go ahead and finish him off. Fuse waiting for that passive healing to come through. Also has the Orb of Harmony to try to stay alive now, pocketing in on Undyne.
That's the second time Jexay has killed a barraging Yaki in this first map here. And Element Mystic, they're just trying to be so coordinated to kill everyone on the ground before the Pharah is relevant. Pharah does a lot of consistent damage, but if everyone dies on the ground, the Pharah doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's going to die to a Lucio.
Dead. Deadeye in, barrier up, looking for the shot. Not going to get it, but it does get the pop out there on the Dako's mech. The follow-up tags coming through, charge from Poco, but he gets taken down in transit. MVP Space should be able to flip this one.
Because they don't have a long-range hit scan player, with him Gosu being the Genji main for this squad, they have to keep running this comp. They can't run Pharah McCree. It doesn't make sense. They don't have a player to do that. They've intentionally wanted to run this comp for this map, including the Sombra we just saw previously. It's going to be much more difficult on the approach, though, to kill the ground forces with the tank line, with the speed boost, and then kill Yaki. He's about to have another barrage, but if Overwatch
Shatter comes down, that's going to lock in 3. Pin comes through, takes out Guard. The tank line from Element Mystic completely dismantled. Well, going to be eliminated here on the back as he loses the mech.
I was going to say if Oberon dies first, then they can get a good opening pick, but he's the one who makes it happen the opposite way. Dako's going to get delayed here. Oberon grabs a little bit more of his second Earth Shatter he's building. They still have the big 6 coming in for the next push. They won't have anything but the grab to shut it down, but the grab can lead into a barrage. And with the comp of Element Mystic, they don't have a Transcendence. It's going to have to be on Dako to prevent that from happening. He's going to either have to eat the grab or the barrage, or both. But that's without that, they are not going to be able to make this combo work. Here we go, though, grabbing a good angle.
In, finds him from behind, pushing forward. Self-destruct coming down. Yaki throws in the barrage, gets rid of Dako, gets rid of him Gosu. Self-destruct only going to be finding Yaki, and Jexay also dies. A flip not coming through for Element Mystic yet. Poco playing forward, flashbang comes down, the pocket comes in. And the Reinhardt will be able to stay alive for the moment, but now he turns around and Undyne just cuts him down.
Attune looking for the flank here. No one can deal with him right now. He's just doing so much free damage at the moment.
Spamming away, looking for those headshots. MVP Space now at 80%. Can they close this out? Can they start this series off with a win.
It looks like it. I mean, Mystic just doesn't have any way to deal with this comp right now. They don't have any range damage. They're just reliant on the speed boost here. Here's a Shatter.
Comes in, but it's going to be, everything's going to be denied away here. Undyne with the Transcendence. Just keeping everybody topped up. Bianca beats guard in the Zarya 1v1, and now it's just swinging the win on both sides. The Reinhardts both going low. Rockets coming through. Repel trying to dance around them. Has a Coalescence, has a pop it instantly, but Yaki shuts it down with a rocket, and now has nearly another barrage ready to go. Just to kill off the members of Element Mystic because he's trying to get back onto the point, but no one can do it. MVP Space will take the map 1 of Oasis. 2 more to go, and they are into the playoffs.
Now, this is Element Mystic experimenting with a new player, a rookie, and a rookie who has no ability to play long-range hit scan. That was the alarms that went off in my head the second I saw that he was going to be on the starting lineup tonight, would not be subbed into, like we saw every time Sparkle was played, the hybrid map, where that sort of play style is more relevant, both on the defense and on attack. It was always XC on control, and on this map, the lack of XC meant they couldn't play the McCree to counter at range what MVP Space was doing. In order to win University with the comp they were running, they were going to have to dominate and never lose a fight, always trade up on ultimates, and it just wasn't able to happen, barring that first fight they took, where they killed everybody, and then we saw Jexay kill the Pharah during the barrage. Beyond that moment, it was just straight up another loss on the board for Element Mystic's control as well, you know.
Yep.
We don't talk about it too much, but that's only their 2nd loss ever on the map type. Himgosa will be running, it looks like, from the outset here on attack, the Brigitte, so we may just see the exact same composition. Would not be shocked if that is the case here for the A push, where you either try to snowball it, then get A, or you might even be able to, on your 2nd push, get an ult combo off. Ideally, you get A on your 1st push and have ults to lead into the drawbridge, but that's an ideal situation. That's an ideal world that we don't necessarily get. Same comp, though.
Gonna have to somehow deal with Yaki on this Pharah, though. That is gonna be, I think, the biggest issue for them. Denied, Defense Matrix chewing up that fire strike. Popo still pushing in, falling low. They're trying to spam it back up. Moira here from Repel, keeping him sustained for a while, but eventually will go down. Undyne having enough burst to finish off that Rhine. Soon will fall. But Dako's going to be out of the mech, so the tank line pretty dismantled here for the side of Element Mystic. It's just going to be guard left alive as he goes ahead and retreats. Builds up about half of that Graviton Surge, but otherwise MVP Space going to be maintaining control.
Yeah, and MVP just has the right answer to this composition, unfortunately for Element Mystic. They need to, again, operate around the Lucio speed boost. Here it comes from Jexay, right around the corner. He's going to launch it up. They're going to try to come in here, kill the tanks on the ground.
Spin back, Coalescence coming through. Trying to be spamming in on to the Yaki. Takes him so low, will be able to finish them all, but they've lost 3 members in the meantime. So sure, you can go ahead and burn down the Pharah with your Coalescence, but you're not healing your team. Everyone's going to die. Yaki's just going to get res back in. Element Mystic, they haven't self-destruct, but I think, honestly, you have to change something up here.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it's a little bit wonky what we're seeing here. I like to see a switch up after this push. If it doesn't work, this is the one where they should be able to build the grab surge. Undyne had the ultimate there, so that helped them not burst him down. If they can burst him or Oberon down, they can win this fight. Dako's going to lead off.
Well, using their self-destruct, and
That's
Yaki will get taken down. All right, that's a big one. Now Oberon with a fire strike will be eliminated, so maybe Element Mystic can, in fact, open up the point here. Gonna have that grab, gonna have that Earth Shatter. Might not need to use either of them. Bianca falls. Yaki's been brought back into the fight. Tune chilling out somewhere. Below half HP, has a Dragon Strike, and he's gonna use it now, tossing it through the wall. We'll just roll straight over the point.
They're trying to tag back onto it.
It's not going to be the finish. Dako, they wrap around, they kill Undyne. Now they come back in for the finish. Let's see if they have to use any of these ultimates. Oberon jumps back in, but will get killed immediately.
It's almost comical.
Bianca's not going to last very long.
It's almost comical that the Coalescence is how they're dealing with the Pharah, but they do get the capture here. This is kind of a in-between of the ideal situation I was talking about. You don't get it on your 1st, but you get it on your 2nd real big push, and you have the ultimates for the drawbridge. They can actually use these to control everyone into this choke. They want to keep everyone inside the castle while the drawbridge is down, or while the gate is down here. Then, of course, just transition their comp, run back into dive, where they can run the Genji and the Tracer, but they want to use these ultimates here in the choke while they can, but they've lost control already. Everyone's already spilled out of the gate for MVP Space.
Yaki taking a lot of damage.
Dies to a Zarya.
Yeah, there are people on the ramparts right now.
Almost zero energy Zarya too, like 18 energy there.
Yeah, so that's going to be the pharmacy comp getting dismantled. Meantime, the cart hasn't made it very far. Next, they're going to get taken out. Oberon traded as Attune takes some shots.
The idea was to get the kills on the opening there of the castle and then just run back Jexay onto the cart while they just continue to snowball that. Once they get wiped, which eventually they will, then they switch to dive. But MVP Space filled out the right side. They still win the fight somehow, some way on top of the castle, which is crazy to me. And now they still hold these ultimates. They can try to use them on the bridge, but they've got really a nice set of ults they can use one time. And they still got a decent timing, so it doesn't feel too bad for Mystic just yet. Dragon Strike doesn't connect with anybody.
Yeah, I thought maybe we'd see Attune wait until they rounded and we're actually getting onto the bridge. Graviton Surge going to be used by Guard, but not going to find anyone. Yaki throws in the barrage. Eliminates him Gosu. Barrier just a little bit too late. They try to keep that ring alive. Guard follows up. That's going to be undone. Going down. Shadow does come in. But Oberon with the primal range will be able to survive. Tries to get a smack offs there at the end. Manages to find a kill on the Guard. Nako's going to be taken out of the mech by Attune. Yaki hovering low. Has to go ahead, pushes himself back. Rockets coming in as they dive into the back line. Now Repel already using the fade. That one rocket pushed back over because the cart's still moving up. Gets the punch in.
They're living so long here, but they're actually burning their own time bank down, to be honest.
Big fade might have just saved Repel's life. He almost got knocked off the side. Yaki falling low, jumps back up. The Dragon Strike comes in. That's going to be Guard and Pokepo going down, but the cart still inching forward. These final rockets come through, should shut down the push finally here for the side of MVP Space.
I think Element Mystic actually should have gotten off the cart faster. Like, I think they need to switch comp. They're not doing it. Well, they sort of are. They switched Guard a while ago.
Okay, Gosu is going over to Widow.
Okay, so that's a little bit weird just based on what we know about this player. But, you know, I guess if you're going to stick with this comp, them fighting for the last few 5 meters actually does make sense. I thought they were going to switch, and I was like, well, you're just delaying your respawns for the switch that you inevitably need. It's not the case. Gosu going to try to flank, get an angle onto the Pharah.
Well, Coalescence coming down, nearly killing off Fuse. Barrage out from Yaki. Gets both supports. Then Attune is going to win that Widow battle right off the start.
For Elo Mystic has no theme anymore. It's Reinhardt, Diva into a player who's not known for his scan. He is knocking Yaki out of the sky, but you can just hide here. No one's gaining any distance. It's such a slow, clunky comp. Now the swap of Pokepo finally comes in. He wanted the Earth Shatter, I guess, but they just don't have time to guess and hope for these ultimate combos to come through. No line of sight for Gosu. You would expect him to switch to the Genji here, but it's just so weak on this drawbridge phase, which is why we were surprised this map was picked in the first place for Element Mystic.
Falls low, kites his way into the back, nearly has a pulse bomb ready to go. Pokepo just going to get melted down despite the sound barrier being used by Jexay. Self-destruct nearly falls off the bridge. Taco going to make it back into the back, and right now, Cart will be inching forward, but Oberon looking to put a halt on that. Bianca receives the pulse bomb, but not going to get knocked out. Same cannot be said for Daco, however, as he does get taken down. Yaki follows up, kills off the Baby Diva. Guard dashing around, trying to take down Undyne, but he cannot do it. Trades it back, takes out the Tracer, and MVP Space, I think they've just done it. No one can tag in for overtime.
That's it.
Wow, right in front of B. Element Mystic might be getting taken to match point by MVP Space.
This is not a surprise or a shocker, though, to me, given who we're seeing on the roster for Element Mystic and their decision-making on compositions. The push we saw for A is so common on this map, where you run goats, you get the grab surge, the earth shatter. Then their follow-up plan, when they didn't need the ultimates to take A, to try to keep them indoors when they're trying to exit the castle while the gate is still up. Brilliant. I love it. It's so smart. We've seen it before. It's just exactly what you want to do. But after that, when you don't have any ultimates and you continue to run this Zarya Reinhardt onto an area where you're dealing with not only a Widowmaker who has perfect line of sight in a wide area, you cannot contest him. You have 0 heroes on your comp that can touch the Widow, and you have 0 heroes on your comp that can touch the Pharah, except Coalescence sometimes. You're just not going to go very far. They took some amazing trades. Like, I cannot believe that Yaki died to Zarya when they were on top of the castle there. Like, that should have never happened. It did. But even still, they just weren't able to snowball it. And it's because Gosu is not a hit scan player. So again, it's just puzzling they picked this map. I don't want to say that Mystic is throwing, but they're certainly not playing to their strengths. They're certainly not playing a comp that makes sense. And I don't want to say it's a problem with coordination with this new player who clearly been training for a long time, but it's it's just a little bit weird. And MVP Space is playing very standard. They're playing correctly. They're countering compositions. And even though MVP Space we know to be the weaker team, this is like one of those moments where you go, the meta is actually a powerful thing. How the game is played and what counters work against certain compositions means that a weak team like MVP Space at the bottom of the standings, barely fighting their way for maybe playoffs against the first place undefeated team, can actually crush, not win, but crush, annihilate the push of Ela Mystic because of how the meta works and how counters work. Himgozu on the McCree here with guard on the Tracer, so again hit scam, but it's more of a short range, and it's going to be that style that Runaway used with Stitch on the McCree. MVP Space just scouting it out.
Yeah, it's just going to be the good old Goats comp coming through. Fuse helping to lead the charge, escort them forward.
Very much getting accustomed to that name now, by the way. I don't hate it as much anymore.
Goats comp?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be planning it of it throughout the duration of the remaining season here. Element Mystic still in onto the point. It's going to be MVP Space. They wrap their way around the back, now push down. Leaf comes in for Pokepo. Guard trying to take down Undyne. Don't get focus fired. Gosu finds the opening kill, but Yaki trades it back, getting rid of that McCree.
They just can't
Guard
do enough
still
damage
spraying away.
anymore.
Bianca out of the mech. Jexay does fall. MVP Space, they wrap back around. Trying to stay into this one. Swing's coming through. Rally getting built up. Shield bash to take him further away from that pulse bomb. Guard's not going to get anything. That might just be the cap coming through.
When McCree's dead, you just don't have damage anymore. The Tracer just tickles this triple heal composition that has AoE healing for Vegeta, Fuse, and Undyne.
Guard comes into the back, stops it from picking up, but he moves off in just a second. Has to recall, and that's going to be the cap. 5-10 on the clock. All they have to do is get across the bridge, and they're still finding stacks kills onto these members. Guard has to go ahead, jumps off the side of the map.
They're going to do the same thing that Ela Mystic did. They're going to try to keep them locked into the castle with their AoE ultimates here, the grab surge, eventually self-destruct, and Oberon barely needed to do anything in that fight. Actually, only has half of an Earth Shatter, but they're just going to try to gatekeep them here while someone eventually goes back to the cart. That someone will probably be Fuse. If they can get a wipe, they just shove the cart forward. But after this, we expect we will see the Widow swap, and we'll see a meta comp. In fact, they're already kind of just backing off here. They don't have the ults yet. They didn't even build the grab surge, so they're just going to push the cart now. And Himgozu switches to Hanzo, guards onto the Junkrat. This is not common. Guard doesn't play Junkrat. And this isn't even a map where you play Junkrat anyways, so let's see how it all works out.
It's very uncommon. Spamming down, gets boosted up. Crap. Somebody, I think he caught Undyne, but can't finish him off. Self-destruct, takes down Pokepo, answering one from Dako, eliminates Fuse.
But the cart is still rolling forward. They still have control.
Dako's by himself, Pocket coming through, but they pop him right as he gets on top of the ramparts. He will be eliminated. Tire comes through for guard.
It's a big one, I think.
Drops it down, just gonna be finding a tune. Not gonna be nearly as big as
Shatter.
you would like. Shatter comes down, that's gonna be the barrier as they start pushing forward. High energy on Yaki here. Just melting down the members. Right click comes in, he'll find a double kill. Dako will go ahead and finish him off as Element Mystic goes for a counter push, but they're down to Zenyatta. Swings coming through, Pokeball just trying to zap from the slight high ground that he has. Comes back up, and for now, Element Mystic has control of the cart.
Okay, Ela Mystic controls the cart for the moment. That was a really good fight with Fuse having the barrier at the perfect moment to keep Oberon alive, but they are slowly changing up the comp here. Yaki's back onto the Pharah. Undyne's keeping him alive for a while.
Dako manages to finish him off. Spray's coming through, trying to top up his tanks here. Right click coming down onto Dako as they try to melt him out. Both supports go in and try to focus fire him.
There should be a tune onto the Widow now. They have the cart pushed up enough to where he should be able to get into position. He wants a rally, though, before he swaps. For some reason, I always make that into a switch and swap together when I'm commentating with you, Achilios, today.
Swips.
But swips or swatches, you know. Not the greatest watch shop ever, but anyway. Atune's going to toss out the rally. They're going to stick with this comp one more time. As Guard will, of course, move away from the Junkrat now after he's done his job. Kind of a one-off there against the comp that they were running.
Pushing forward, meleeing,
Rally
like he's never meleeed before.
Yeah.
Being smacked around here. Should be able to stay alive. Yaki is eliminated. Gosu. MVP Space trying to move their way back over onto the cart. Right now, Yaki's in the back, trying to take down Repel, uses the recall, dashes back over to Jordan with the rest of the team, and the will find the first kill here on a guard. Armor pack barely saving Undyne's life. He manages to stay in
trading up
They
so
go
hard.
ahead, they ripped him to pieces. Element Mystic
That's
suffering
game,
heavy
probably.
losses. That might just be it. Him goes to, he's got to toss that arrow, and he's got to get over
tossing it.
onto that cart. Stunned up, that's going to be it. MVP Space close it out. They're up 2-0. They need one more win, and they find themselves in the playoffs for the first time ever.
Element Mystic needs to go back to the drawing board.
They need to go back to XC is what they need to do.
If you watch, I mean, I'm not going to put any blame on Him Gosu because it's the comps they're running.
I'm not saying that he's ruining it, but I think that they look way less coordinated and less comfortable.
When you run Him Gosu, the thing is, it's not Him Gosu's fault. It's the fault of the coach who puts him in because it doesn't make sense to have him on this map. And I think that's kind of what you're trying to say. And I think that's where everyone can agree that XC's absence meant they couldn't run Widow, they couldn't deal with Yaki. And then MVP Space on the attack just traded up better than Element Mystic because Guard was forced to awkwardly switch over to the Junkrat to try to stop that tank cop. They had a faster A take, so they had better ultimates. They controlled the drawbridge better. And the coach said they wanted to show us something. I feel like we've seen something, but it's not something you want to see if you're an Element Mystic fan or if you're a 7 fan. But on the side of Element Mystic, you know, they're running these weird comps. So much so that I think if you're a fan watching this, you just tuned in, you might be thinking, is this on like a weird PTR patch that I didn't see the notes for? Like, what are we watching an exhibition? It's not non-meta comps coming out. MVP Space is changing their comps to fit the situation. They're playing their regular A roster, their starting lineup. They're playing better than Element Mystic at reading the map. The map pick itself was puzzling for the new player. And Element Mystic is treating this like an exhibition match, like a learning match, and it's not going to get them a win, I don't think.
It's really weird, but guys, we're halfway through the series. MVP Space, one more map win, and they will make it to the playoffs for the first time in the history of their organization in Overwatch. Don't go anywhere. We're back with it in a few minutes.